Why your vote this election season mattered more than you realize.
As homecoming celebrations come to a head, we show what it took to get there.
We're covering a few breaking news stories for you today. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to VolNews. I'm Alexa Durbin.
And I'm Aubrey Curran. You probably heard that in the early morning hours of November 6th, most major news outlets called the presidential race for former President Donald Trump.
President-elect Trump defeated incumbent Vice President Kamala Harris 295 to 226 in the Electoral College and will be the second former president to return to the White House for non-consecutive terms.
And here in Tennessee, all those running were re-elected, the biggest race on the ticket being for the Senate seat. Marsha Blackburn defeated Gloria Johnson to keep her place.
This week, a massive fire at Knoxville College left El Nathan Hall in ruins. It took 12 hours on Monday for firefighters to completely extinguish the smoldering rubble. While no cause has been determined yet, Assistant Chief Mark Wilbanks says there is a strong likelihood that the fire was man-made.
And in some breaking news for the school, for the first time in a while, the Vols are without a voice. Bob Kessling announced yesterday he will be retiring from broadcasting, leaving the Vol radio network looking for a new on-air presence.
It's not clear yet who will take his place, but it will probably take a little while to fill such big shoes. Voters turned out en masse on Tuesday to support their candidate. And while the election only happens every 4 years, it's important to remember it's not always been so easy to vote.
As part of our Voting Matters special election coverage, our Madison Sims sat down with activist, former Knoxville City Council member, and first African-American student to attend UT, Theodis Robinson, for some advice.
What can I say? Life is good.
Life is good.
Life is good. Hey.
After one conversation with Dr. Theodis Robinson Jr., one might say that this is an understatement for his life. The 82-year-old shared with me that he went skydiving for his 70th birthday. But after getting just a glimpse into his life's history, this fact proved to be just the tip of the iceberg for a man who has accomplished so much.
I was about to go to Knoxville College on a scholarship, but as a person who was participating daily in the lunch counter sit-ins and in the civil rights movement, this is another battle that has to be fought.
After graduating from Austin High School in the spring of 1960, Robinson planned to attend Knoxville College, a historically black college in East Knoxville. But more important to him than his scholarship, Robinson was active in the civil rights movement. And after discovering that African-American undergraduates were being denied entry to the University of Tennessee, set out on a pursuit to make a change.
It's another barrier that we have to overcome. It's another piece of discrimination that's in place that has to be broken down.
That same summer, Robinson applied for admission to the university. And after being denied on the basis of race, he requested a meeting with then president of the university, Andrew Holt.
They looked at my transcript. They looked at my test scores, deemed that I did meet the qualifications to be admitted. So they changed the policy and I was admitted.
And in January of 1961, Robinson made history as one of 3 students to have been the first black undergraduates to attend the University of Tennessee. But this was only the beginning of his work as a catalyst for change. With a background in political science, he went on to become the first African-American representative elected to the Knoxville City Council in over 50 years.
Being on City Council gave me the opportunity to be on the inside and make the decision myself and push much more with much greater influence and much greater power to bring about change. So it really was simply an extension of my civil rights work.
For activists like Robinson, the decision to vote in this year's election is a no-brainer. But many people are on the fence, and some believe that their vote won't matter.
One vote does make a difference. Plus the fact that if you don't vote, somebody else will. And so they're casting the vote that you refuse to do.
And as he encouraged people to exercise their right to vote, Robinson reflected on his life's work.
It gives me a sense of fulfillment in my life, that there has been purpose in my living. And yet, I know that the work is not over.
Robinson still continues to encourage people to get involved in what they believe in. In Athens, Tennessee, a battle for the ballot box shook the town.
Our Bella Frick spoke to eyewitnesses of the shakedown and takes us up close and personal with some moments in history.
It seemed as if the whole world had suddenly exploded.
Jean Wilson was just 9 years old in the 1940s, but remembers her fear 70 years later.
GIs came around our house, and before long there were some shots, some gunshots that came from the jail, which was across the street from my house.
Jean Wilson lived across the street from the jailhouse in Athens with her mother and 3 siblings as bullets started coming through her kitchen window.
Because of the shots that were being fired, my family was very scared.
Civilians stepped in, protecting the family, while recently returned World War II veterans used their kitchen window to fire at the jailhouse below.
Well, I do know that they were shooting across the street over into the jail.
The Battle of Athens was a result of decades of election fraud, police brutality, and voter intimidation from former Sheriff Paul Cantrell. The veterans formed a ticket against the Cantrell machine.
And the Cantrell machine knew they were probably going to get beat unless they brought in some extra muscle. There were people trying to vote who were beat up. One man got a concussion. Another man was shot in the back for trying to vote. Another guy had to jump out of a window to keep from getting shot.
4 o'clock that day, voting precincts closed and ballot boxes were held within the jailhouse where the deputies and sheriff counted the votes.
They said, "Get the ballot boxes back," and then the guys in the jail said no, and then someone fired first, and that's when the battle actually began.
The firefight between the GIs and the deputies had an explosive ending after GIs set off dynamite. The deputies then surrendered the ballot box. The votes were counted, and the GI ticket had won by a landslide.
It lasted for about 6 hours when the deputies surrendered the jail.
The lessons learned from the Battle of Athens are still in effect today. Following the battle, policies in the state of Tennessee went into place to prevent future cases of voter fraud.
I'm grateful that good came out of it.
In Athens, Tennessee, Bella Fricks, VolNews.
To watch our entire VolNews live Election Day special, Voting Matters, visit our YouTube page, the Volunteer Channel, or visit us on Instagram at VolNews TVC.
Encouraging students to take their work from the lab to the field. That's what UT has achieved by signing an agreement with defense technology company Lockheed Martin, marking the beginning of a 5-year master research plan.
This renewed partnership has benefited both sides, with Lockheed Martin being an annual sponsorship of the Tickle College of Engineering and employing UT students for internships and co-ops. Together, they aim to provide students with real-world experiences by advancing aerospace technology. And the university is being recognized for its student successes as one of America's top colleges by Forbes magazine.
They rank 142nd out of 500 public universities. These universities all produce high-achieving graduates that come from different financial backgrounds. Senior Vice Chancellor John Somchik says the university hopes this reaches future students nationwide.
Out across the country, and we want to serve Tennesseans first. That's clear, but we also want the rest of the country to know how great the University of Tennessee is.
He tells VolNews that a higher education publication wrote an article yesterday celebrating the university's tradition of a Vol Saturday night, all focused on the unique extracurricular events on Rocky Top. Tomorrow is the big homecoming game, but what will the weather look like?
Monroe Harris joins us now to answer that question. Monroe?
Thanks, guys. Weather on Saturday night should be cloudy. Kickoff at Neyland is set for 7 p.m. There's a 50% chance of rain, however, most rain will be mainly after 1 a.m. Temperatures will be in the mid to low 60s towards the beginning of the game, staying near the low 60s to the end. Wishing our Vols the best of luck this weekend. We'll talk about our weekend forecast next in Knoxville later in the show. Back to you.
Thanks, Monroe.
Coming up, we take a look at football's momentum going into Mississippi State.
And both men's and women's basketball has started. We'll take a look at what they're doing.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We are the Tennessee Volunteers. People who create connections, push boundaries, do the research that changes lives. We've got world-class academics and championship athletics. To be the best, you gotta learn from the best. And if you wanna lead, you gotta light the way. We've got what it takes. It takes a volunteer.
It's been a busy week here on Rocky Top, especially if you're a sports fan.
Our Samara Carpenter joins us now. Samara?
Thanks, guys. It definitely has been busy. Welcome to the Rocky Top Sports Report. I'm Samara Carpenter, bringing you up to date on all things sports here on Rocky Top. Let's get started with some hoops talk. The basketball season is underway with both the men's and women's teams starting strong. Men's basketball opened their season last Monday at Food City Center, securing an 80-64 victory over Gardner-Webb in their third matchup. Transfer Chaz Lanier is off to a strong start this season, leading the team with an impressive 18 points, the highest score of the game. Coming in close behind, Jordan Gainey scored 16 points. He is already checking off personal goals for the season. He became the first Tennessee guard to make 7 or more field goals and also matched his top steals record from last season. Zakai Ziegler showed off his impressive honors by being named 2025 preseason first team All-SEC from both the media and coaches, 2025 preseason second team All-American, and on the watch list for the 2025 Naismith Trophy. With Rick Barnes still sitting as head coach for the Vols, we hope to see nothing but the best come from this team. Go check out the Vols in Food City Center against Montana, November 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Kim Caldwell era has finally begun, debuting her coaching abilities well in the first game of the season. Lady Vols basketball rocked their season opener here at Food City Center with a crazy 101-54 win over Sanford. The Lady Vols racked up 27 steals, which ties for the third in program history and second over 100 points in a regular season game for the first time since 2008. The Lady Vols followed up the win against Sanford with a dominant 90-50 win over their in-state opponent, UT Martin, Thursday night. The Lady Vols stake Western Carolina Tuesday, November 26th here on Rocky Top. What a game last Saturday at Neyland Stadium as the Vols took on the Kentucky Wildcats in an all-black dark mode matchup. With a close win, Tennessee now ranks number 7 in the college football playoff standings. Dylan Sampson continued to impress, reaching 19 rushing touchdowns this season and claiming the title for most rushing touchdowns in a single season for Tennessee, breaking the Gene McEvers 1929 record. Nico Imaliava also had a strong performance, finishing with 28 completions for 292 passing yards. The team rallied together, pushing Sampson into the end zone, sealing the 28-18 victory. Individual honors are stacking up as well. Imaliava has been named a semifinalist for the Sean Alexander Freshman Player of the Year award, while Will Brooks is nominated for the Burlsworth Trophy. The Vols are climbing higher in the rankings and will now face off against Mississippi State in Neyland this Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to cheer them on and show the Bulldogs how the Volunteers rallied behind their team. Last week, the Lady Vols soccer team entered the SEC tournament, taking on both Kentucky and Mississippi State. Against Kentucky, Sammy Woods set the tone early in the scoring in the first 15 minutes to give the team a strong start, securing the win early. In their next tournament match against Mississippi State, the Lady Vols fought hard but came up just a bit short in an overtime loss. They now await the results of the NCAA tournament selection. That's all the time we have for you on this week's edition of Rocky Top Sports Report. Now we head back to Alexa and Aubrey for more updates.
Thanks, Samara. When we get back, we'll take a look at how Greek life is pumping up the tradition.
What Parking Services is doing to alleviate some parking pains.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
We are the Tennessee Volunteers. People who create connections, push boundaries, do the research that changes lives. We've got world-class academics and championship athletics. To be the best, you gotta learn from the best. And if you wanna lead, you gotta light the way. We've got what it takes. It takes a volunteer.
Hey Vols, let's talk about our forecast here in Knoxville this weekend. Today has been a warm start to our weekend with partly sunny weather this afternoon. Tonight will be slightly chilly, so you might want to have a jacket. Temperatures should reach highs in the mid-70s during the day and will drop down to around 50 degrees later in the evening. Saturday will also bring us some warm weather with partly sunny skies again. Temperatures will have highs in the mid-70s and lows in the late 50s. There will be intermittent showers after midnight. Sunday will be overcast with showers all throughout the day. Temperatures for Sunday will be lower than Saturday, reaching a high of 66 and a low of 57. That's all I've got for you for this weekend. Now let's wrap things up back at the desk.
Thanks, Monroe.
The celebration kicked off this morning with a UT banner drop and continued this afternoon with Chancellor Plowman's homecoming kickoff.
Students and faculty dyed the fountain orange and kicked off this year's homecoming theme, Nayland Nightlights.
I mean, it's just going to be memorable because I know we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff together, hanging out, making jokes, making new memories. So.
There were several other events throughout the week for both students and alumni, including the annual homecoming parade this Friday. It's all leading up to this Saturday's game against Mississippi. Now, students have been working hard all week, having fun, enjoying the good weather here on Rocky Top, and getting ready for homecoming.
Yes, here at the University of Tennessee, there is a tradition that has been going on for over 74 years.
Our Maggie Skizwergi shows us how the homecoming tradition in Greek life lives on.
Thanks, guys. Students involved in Greek life this past week have been pumping and building floats in preparation for the homecoming traditional floats. I talked to some students to see what their favorite parts and traditions are.
I think it's really good, like, friendly competition. Traditionally, like, we're one of the bigger schools that does homecoming. I have a lot of friends that go to other universities and they don't do it. They don't get it. I think it adds to school pride too, like leading up to a game, a home SEC game, and just taking pride in your work and your fraternity and sorority.
The University of Tennessee has participated in the homecoming parade tradition since 1950. A tradition students look forward to in many ways.
It's doing something we all find enjoyable, just hanging out, meeting the girls, just having fun all week.
It's my second to last one, so a little more sentimental since it's almost over. So trying to soak it all in.
The float. I love building it, the whole thing.
As homecoming chairs, Melanie and Luke put it, the tradition and togetherness is what it's about.
I think just like keeping that tradition alive and like also like being able to show my creative side as well and like have that on display for everyone else to see and like not only for us but like for Cayo as well. Like I just think it's a good way to keep the tradition alive.
Just awesome. I mean, seeing like what everyone's doing, it's pretty cool. I mean, the banner and stuff was awesome to see. The float of the progress going in, all the guys working hard building it, the girls decorating and whatnot. It's just cool to see come to fruition at the end.
This event remains a student favorite not only for Greek life, but for all.
Yeah, it's just showing pride in our school and doing what people have done for a long time, and just school spirit-wise, very, very thrilling.
Be on the lookout for the results to see if your favorite float won.
Maggie, how can students see the floats and participate in homecoming without being involved in Greek life?
While the homecoming parade happened yesterday, you can still watch the football game tonight at Neyland Stadium.
Thanks, Maggie.
As you make your way to campus, the stress of not finding a spot can be frustrating.
The university is taking that ease away with an app. The Heath Integrated Business and Engineering program partnered up with the University Parking and Transportation to build an app called VolPark. It focuses on bringing students and faculty accurate parking results. Brad Heaton, the administrator for Parking and Transportation, says the app will help students.
And it will truly allow students to find parking much faster than they do now. We want to reduce the amount of time that they're circling garages, driving around campus.
Stay tuned for next week as our reporter Kyla Berry sits down with the engineering students behind the app to find out what it took to create VolPark. Sadly, that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Alexa Durbin.
And I'm Aubrey Curran. Have a great day and go Vols.